Welcome Internet Explorers. Today we're taking a little road trip, just in a loop really, heading for a lovely place called Ronda, where Michelle is expecting a romantic lunch.
I'm really looking forward to this one. Come along.
Welcome to the long free ride. On our third day in Cádiz, we chose to do a circular road trip. The main destination was a small city called Ronda, but the other was the Tesla Supercharger at Algeciras, which is close to Gibraltar. This is the most southerly Tesla Supercharger on the European mainland. So we could now tick off the world's most northerly from last year's road trip to Norway, and now the European mainland's most southerly. We also picked up something to add to the stats, as we got a speeding ticket somewhere on the way to Algeciras. We're not sure who was driving, but I think it was me, so I've paid the €50. So guys, we've made it to the most southerly charger on the European mainland. Whoop, whoop. So it's a place called Algeciras, and it is at a big shopping centre.
Huge.
But we're going to grab some charge here and then head off for lunch in a beautiful place called Ronda.
What, no shopping?
No shopping. Just, you can do a bit of filming of the shops if you want. The restaurant I've booked in Ronda is hopefully one I've been to before. Had a lovely dinner there one evening when I was on a motorcycle tour with a friend of mine called Fraser. He remembers it very romantically, but I don't remember it romantically.
I've been given high expectations for this place.
Yes, the view, if it is the right one, I could have got the wrong thing, but who knows, if it is the right one, it has a lovely view over the old bridge at Ronda, which crosses the gorge, and I think it's probably a Roman bridge, and it's absolutely fantastic. You may have seen it in postcards before, but it is a real sight. Anyway, we're on some really wiggly roads at the moment, heading up to Ronda, which I'm quite enjoying, and let's find out if we've got the right restaurant.
It's quite bumpy.
So, it's 2 minutes to our restaurant booking. We are 22 kilometres away, and we are doing 6 kilometres an hour.
Could take a while.
So, yeah, let's hope they've got some dinner reservations. It would appear the road we've chosen to use, whilst very scenic and nice to drive, is being used for cycle race because it's very hilly. And yeah, those cyclists going up the hills are pretty slow, and we're just all following them.
But they're working really hard.
They're working really hard, yes.
Yes.
Oh well, let's see if we do get lunch.
The road wound its way up the mountain, leaving me very excited. At last the road cleared and we could carefully overtake the cyclists. Arriving in Ronda, we crossed the famous bridge. I'll admit I might have caused a bit of a stir by changing into a dress in the car park and scaring 2 attendants, but I was determined not to go to what promised to be a romantic lunch in casual shorts. Fraser's enthusiastic story of his time there with John previously had made me anticipate great food, good service and a fabulous view. So I was very eager to create our own unforgettable memories.
The good news is
we made it. Cheers. The food lived up to expectations. I started with white asparagus. He then chose cod and I had lamb. Normally that would be reversed.
And Michelle wants her mum to know that it's not just meat and potatoes, she's got some veg over there too.
But due to our very late arrival, we were one of the last tables there, but it meant that we had the balcony nearly to ourselves.
After lunch we walked up to a small park where a path led down into the gorge to a viewing platform and walkway carved into the gorge wall. This required us to wear hard hats. It was also a mistake for me as the climb back up in the afternoon heat was exhausting. Back at bridge level, I grabbed some more footage of this iconic view before we headed to the bullring. Many think Ronda's bullring is the oldest in Spain, but it is the largest, and not in the number of spectators it can seat, but in the size of the sand bullring inside. I'm unsure where the inspiration for this door knocker came from, but it was impressive.
And we were late for our reservation, but I had called and emailed in advance to let them know that traffic was bad and we were running late. Still, we got the best table in the house, overlooking the Ronda Bridge, which is spectacular. In fact, the whole place is gorgeous. John's not talking right now because he's driving back down the mountain and I'd rather he was focused on that. So forgive hot, sweaty mess. But we've had a lovely afternoon after a 3-course lunch, wandering around the valley of Ronda, and I would strongly recommend it. If you're in this part of Spain, definitely take a day trip. Looks to be some nice places to stay overnight as well, but there are quite a few tourists, so just come prepared.
After the excitement of a proper meal and a walk, we stopped en route to charge the car at the same charger outside Cádiz as before. It meant that by some small dose of fortune, not planning, we were crossing the impressive 1812 bridge into Cádiz at sunset. And it made me reflect on how much I'd really enjoyed the day, but that Cádiz was my preferred location of the two. Something about being by the sea and there being far fewer tourists has really appealed to me. For anyone coming to this part of Spain, I would say Cádiz is well worth a stop in your itinerary.
So what were the stats for this romantic day out? Well, we drove 225 miles, which is 361 kilometres.
We put 96 kilowatts into the car, and this is over 2 charging stops. We were only stationary 1 hour and 9 minutes.
Because we only used Tesla Superchargers today, we didn't pick up any cost. However, if we had to pay for the electricity, it would have cost us £27.81. As I said, we did pick up a speeding fine, which was €50, and that comes out at £43.10 for being naughty.
Now let's add that to the grand total for the trip so far.
We hope the long free ride is demonstrating that you can do long road trips in an electric vehicle. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel to help us bring this message to a wider audience.
Next time on the long free ride, we stand on a wooden mushroom overlooking Seville.